Pirates fans, show your colors. After sweeping a doubleheader yesterday, the Pirates have won 4 in a row. Why not try to make it 5 as they look for a 4-game sweep here in Cincinnati? And welcome into the booth. Joe Block and Bob Walk with you here on this Sunday afternoon. And the Pirates, they're sweeping the doubleheader yesterday. They won the opener of this series after winning the finale in Philadelphia. And the last time around in Philly that Ivan Nova pitched, boy, he was very special. 11 strikeouts, a season high for Nova in that last outing.
Hey, we've been talking all year about what a great strike thrower he is, going after the hitters, getting that soft contact, being efficient. Well, I think he might have got tired of hearing that because he just said, well, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to show him that I can strike people out also. And it was just incredible. And he was still able to stay pretty efficient with his pitch count, even though he was loading up on all those strikeouts. It's just been incredible what he has done in this Pittsburgh Pirate uniform.
And since joining the Pirates, as we look at our Barrel Automotive League leaders, he's among a lot of the leaders in the National League.
Yeah, it's a great thing. You know, I think when we picked him up, talked a lot about he's on a salary drive, going to be a free agent. Hopefully he'll really kick it up and give us a boost. Well, you know, we're still kind of scrapping away to try and get in anything. It looks a little bleak, but it wasn't because he didn't give us a boost. This is 2 years in a row where the Pirates have picked up a pitcher at the trading deadline, and it's been just a tremendous result.
And Nova will get the start for the Pirates today. His mound opponent will be Dan Straley, who the Pirates have seen 5 other times already this year.
Okay, he's got a good ERA in September. He's pitched well against us in a starting role. He could be tough this afternoon.
So Dan Straley, after coming off that strong outing against the Brewers, 2 runs in 8 innings, will go for the Reds. Pirates sending Ivan Nova to the mound as the Pirates look to make it 5 straight victories. They've done well here on the road. 14 of 20 they've won away from PNC Park. They look to continue that here this afternoon. The Pirates and the Reds coming up next right here on Root Sports. Ballpark here in Cincinnati. Finally, no rain expected for a game. It is a gorgeous Sunday afternoon for baseball. And Sean Rodriguez, who has been so hot on this road trip, he's hit safely in every game, and he's taken the ball out of the ballpark with ease.
Yeah, he's really been hitting the ball the other way very hard. And one of the most important home runs, or impressive home runs, the one he hit last night on that pitch right there, down out of the strike zone, drives that the other way. And then, of course, he got a hand curveball. He hits this one in the upper deck up by the Three Amigas. I'll tell you what, that was a shot, and he is hot, and hopefully got another long ball in him this afternoon.
Yeah, Sean Rodriguez homering in both ends of a doubleheader. He's hit safely in all 7 games of this road trip. Pirates have been very good offensively here since they started in Philadelphia, and slugging .467, averaging better than 7 runs a game. Now let's go back to the studios and Dan Potash with a game break. For the Pirates here, and he's been so good since joining the Buccos. They'll try to make it 5 straight victories for the Pirates after sweeping that doubleheader here in Cincinnati yesterday. And here's who's in support of him. Clint Hurdle's lineup for today, our RAV4 lineup, and it's Adam Frazier in front of Josh Bell, who has hit .500 over his last 4 games. Andrew McCutchen's driven in a run in the last 5 games. Gregory Polanco, Jung Ho Kang, Francisco Cervelli in the middle of the order. Sean Rodriguez, Pedro Florimon with a start, and then Ivan Nova.
Take a look at Straley's numbers on the season. They're not too bad to get the ERA down in the 3s. He's actually pitched very good in September. The ERA even lower than that last time out with 8 innings. So he may be a little tough early on this afternoon. We'll see what happens, but he's got the luck of the Irish going with that green uni, huh?
Yeah, it's Irish Heritage Day here. And look at the Honda lineup, or the defense for Cincinnati. Duvall, Peraza, and Schebler in the outfield. Suarez, DeJesus, Phillips, and Votto around the horn. Tucker Barnhart does the catching for the Reds here today, or the Greens. Adam Frazier, 3 more hits in the nightcap yesterday. Has that average up to 352. Got over 100 at bats now. Five-game hitting streak for Frazier. Pirates with their longest winning streak since they swept 4 games in Milwaukee about 3.5 weeks ago. And Clint Hurdle's bunch taking a doubleheader here in Cincinnati for the first time since 1990. Of course, you don't play a lot of doubleheaders these days, but still kind of cool to think back. Mike York and John Smiley were the winners that day for the Pirates.
Really?
In that doubleheader back at Riverfront. And a walk to Frazier. And the theme continues for Cincinnati. Get into that in just a moment, as they walked 19 yesterday in the doubleheader. Let's look at our Rivers Casino tips to win.
Hey, first day we didn't have a rain delay. You said it was a beautiful day. We're in the sun. It could be a little bit of a pitcher's duel early on, I'm thinking. These guys have been throwing the ball really well of late. And the Guns of Navarone, once we get by Straley, all that bullpen of theirs does is walk people and give up home runs. Cannonballs will be flying. There you go.
What is that, the War of 1812 or something like that?
Nope.
Bob dared me to.
There's a theme.
Try to figure out what that theme was.
Yep.
Good
luck with that.
I won't get it. Reds might get 2 here, and they do. 4 is the 6-3. It's a rare time that Josh Bell has not hit the ball hard lately with his 6-game hitting streak.
Normally he's so good at taking everything the other way, and look at that. He got a pitch on the outside corner and tried to pull it, and what happens often, you roll over on it and put it on the ground.
Very unusual for Bell. Base is empty for Andrew McCutchen. Andrew has driven in a run in at least 1 in each of the last 5 games, 10 in total. Leads the team in home runs, now up to 72 RBIs. It's going to be a quick inning for Dan Straley. Pirates are down in the first. Cincinnati coming to bat against Ivan Nova. their half of the first. Cincinnati coming to bat. And a look at their lineup. Brian Price fills it out for us. And Jose Peraza, who's been a hot hitter in center field, leading things off with Suarez batting second in front of Joey Votto. Adam Duvall, Brandon Phillips, Scott Schebler with 4 hits in the series, including a home run. Ivan De Jesus Jr. with Tucker Barnhart doing the catching in front of Dan Straley.
Ivan Nova's numbers brought to you by Hyundai. He has, as we were talking about him in the open, just been a great addition to this team. Really has been as solid as you can have, going out there for you every 5 days and just throwing tons of strikes. Never seems to hurt himself with any wildness at all.
Now 3 walks for Nova, and he has really given a lot of credit to his battery mates who he had with the Yankees. Both Chris Stewart and Francisco Cervelli is saying the other day, you know, he gives him a lot of confidence when he, you know, bounces a curveball that he's going to block it. And they were teammates in New York, and they have brought out the best in Nova there and here.
Nova only bounces curveballs if he wants to bounce a curveball. It's just amazing to me how he's thrown strikes. He had pitched 3 or 4 games for us before he walked anybody. It's just incredible.
Yeah, Nova with the Pirates has made 8 starts. He's walked 3 batters. The Reds walked 19 batters in the doubleheader yesterday, and another one here in the first inning.
I don't know, that mound out there here at Great American Ballpark, I don't know how it's going to react to Nova. Not used to having somebody out there that throws the ball over the plate.
That bounced, so Florimon will throw on to first to get the out of Peraza.
Playing up the middle. It's a lot about positioning, as always.
And Sean Rodriguez in there at shortstop today, with Jordy Mercer getting a day off. Actually, yesterday he got one of the games off yesterday, but he'll actually get a day off today. He's played a lot, and Rodriguez so hot, why not keep him in the lineup?
Yeah, of all the guys out there, you know, throughout the 6-month season, Mercer, I think you're surprised maybe more than anybody else when you see him not in the lineup.
Now, prior to today, he had only missed 7 games all year.
He is so solid of a player defensively, and especially when there's a lefty on the mound, he adds a lot to the offense. Double figures and home runs.
And Sean Rodriguez
might get double figures and home runs on this road trip.
4 homers already. And that'll beat the shift.
4-1 moved that time.
Ah, luck of the Irish.
That was right where he was standing the first time. I see the look on Nova's face too. It's like, whoa, wait a minute. I thought somebody was there. Like he's looking at the big scoreboard, watching the replay.
I didn't know you were over there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nobody there. That's right where he was standing on Peraza when Peraza hit that ball, and that ended up being right at him.
No, I'm going to let that get through. Yeah, you might have had a chance to make a play on it. So Suarez aboard for Votto. Now ball and a strike. Votto was hitless in the doubleheader yesterday, 0 for 8. Pirates have kept him without a hit in 10 at bats in a row, which qualifies as news when it's Joey Votto. He got so mad toward the tail end of game 2 yesterday. He slammed his helmet down, threw his bat down. Votto, one of the absolute best in the game.
And then when Rivera struck him out, he kind of took that better. I think he thought, wow, I was in a battle. That guy pitched me great.
He'll choke up even more on that bat. See the knob of the bat and the handle beneath his hands. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Watch when he gets set up with 2. Now he does this all the time, but with 2 strikes even more. A little bit better back control, I guess, right?
Yeah, it just makes you quicker. Not as much plate coverage, obviously.
Yeah, just puts together a little hit. That's why it's hard to keep him without a hit for 10 straight at bats. It's like a wand with him. You know, just I want to will a hit this way. I will put something this way. You know. So 2 on for Cincinnati, and Adam Duvall, who hit a 3-run home run in Game 1 yesterday. Past Billy Hatcher.
Different ball boy down there today. Young man down there yesterday did a great job.
And he's got the red shirt on today. They didn't make him a green shirt. Maybe. Well, maybe he's not of Irish heritage, I guess.
No, he's not. He's a red leg.
Duvall strikes out for the 150th time this year. Down on strikes. And a second out here in the first. Yeah, it is Irish Heritage Day. We've had some sort of ethnic heritage day all throughout this weekend here. Yesterday was German Heritage Day, coinciding with Oktoberfest.
Played with the Los Rojos in Game 1.
Now Latin American Heritage. So this one, they bring up the spring training uniforms, I guess, right? Very popular now that teams will wear those on March 17th. And one of the dancers, there was a dancing act before the game.
Well, they did a nice job down in front of the dugouts. And, there's the Irishman.
Wayner is Irish. Brown is Greg O'Brown. That's right. On the ground, and Nova gets out of it. No harm, no foul. A couple of hits through an inning from Cincinnati. No score.
Pirates baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Allegheny Health Network. Health for all. By Bordas and Bordas, official legal partners of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Visit BordasLaw.com. And by Day Automotive. We're going to make your day. Let's go Bucks!
Joe Nuxhall, the old left-hander here at Cincinnati, immortalized outside Great American Ballpark. Now, this is a nice place to watch a ball game if you ever want to visit the Pirates on the road. Not too far. Get in the car, come on over, bring the kids. They won't
float down the river.
Yeah, if you want. Probably a motorized vehicle would be best if you want to get here any sort of time.
But you got to plan ahead off coming on the river. Got a motor.
Yeah, plan ahead. Gregory Polanco is going to try to hand him a souvenir. 22 long balls for Mr. Polanco. Very inviting ballpark for left-handed hitters. There's that right field grandstand that not that far away. 370 to the gap. Down the line 325, and a lot of lefty hitters with any power will try to pepper it out there. Suarez gets the first out here in the Pirates' second inning. Fan Jam is back at PNC Park featuring country star Hunter Hayes, and that's coming up on Saturday as the Pirates host the Nationals at 7:05. Stay after the game for a live concert featuring Hunter Hayes. It's presented by Highmark. Go to pirates.com, get your tickets, see Hunter Hayes and see the Pirates in their final homestand of the regular year. Coming up, Pirates return home on Friday for a week, and then that's it. Jung Ho Gung having a great month.
Having a Babe Ruth month.
Since when the calendar turned, he was still on the disabled list, but a few days into the month, 364. And in a relatively short period of time, 5 homers and 14 RBIs in the month. And he's ahead in the count, 3-1. Well, this weekend you've seen more walks than your family reunion.
That's for sure. Walk, 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 walk. If you're a Cincinnati Red pitcher. All year, and it's been just this weekend.
We've walked 27 batters here in this 4-game series.
Be a high priority for the Reds this offseason is to figure out how they can get their pitchers or get new pitchers in here that can throw the ball over the plate. At least sometimes.
Well, they erased the walk in the first inning on a double play ball. This time Francisco Cervelli getting on base at a 376 clip. That is best among all regular catchers in baseball. Got a base hit. Gong held up to make sure it would get through. He wasn't heading to third anyway. And the Pirates have 2 on with 1 out. Now, this is the 6th time that the Pirates have seen Straley this year, so plenty of experience. And now the red hot Sean Rodriguez. Up to 16 home runs. He's done it in about half a season's worth of at-bats.
Yep. It's, I think, a little unfair, premature, whatever, to say, okay, if guys just double his numbers, because it's a lot tougher to hit like that for 6 months. But it's a possibility. You can see what he may be capable of if he was ever a everyday starter, which sometimes you get that early label on you when you break in of being a utility guy, and it's tough to shake.
Yeah, it's almost tougher if you can play so many different positions. But we've seen guys like Ben Zobrist most recently who can play, especially when he was with Tampa Bay, he'll play 5 different positions for you.
And play every day pretty much.
Yeah. But Rodriguez also outside 2-1. I asked Clint Hurdle about this the other day about, how much of it do you think is you putting him in good situations in the lineup? Okay, this is a good day for him to be in there. It's against
good matchup.
Yeah, a pitcher he's had success with, or a type of pitcher he generally has success with. He said some of that, but Sean is also having a good year. It's been very streaky.
And that's why what you just brought up is the reason why it's really tough to say, okay, well, if this guy, look what he has done in half a season at bats. If he had 600 at bats, he would do this. Well, no, because those other 300 at bats would come in different situations than he's been hitting in now. It's not just hitters. You can say the same thing too about pitchers, guys in the bullpen.
Blast that one out to center. Peraza able to take care of it. Right, especially relief pitchers. Put those guys in matchup situations. I think Matt Joyce is another good example of that too, where he's very seldom seen left-handed pitching, which has been an Achilles heel for him through the years. But you put in Joyce in pitch hitting situations against righties as well in his starts, and Joyce has had very good numbers. So a little bit of both, but both of those guys and others have had good seasons. They have been better than just a supporting cast. Been significant contributors. Here's the switch hitting, 600 hitting Pedro Florimon. Triple his career average. 3 out of 5. Getting a late season start. Going to turn 30 in the offseason. 2 men on here and see if the Pirates can score first, as they have done early and often in this series. Pirates have won 4 in a row. They have scored first in each of those 4 games, and they've done that either in the first or second innings. So they've not only had leads, they've had them early and usually multiple runs. Pitcher is next. Different for a number 8 hitter, right? A 3-1 count.
Well, a runner in scoring position, 2 outs. Yeah.
Not going to just try to take a walk. Hit well out to center. And Peraza can't get it. The Pirates will strike first. Florimon brings in a pair, and the Pirates lead 2-0.
Did a nice job there. It's a tough spot to hit in, because the pitcher a lot of times is not going to give in to you. So you might have to expand your strike zone to hit a borderline pitch, even though you have a 3-1 count, because you don't want to leave it to the pitcher. Well, this was a decent pitch. It was middle of the plate, although it was down. Watch go down and get it and drive it to the fence. Excellent job.
Peraza, who plays at short and in the outfield, filling in for the injured Billy Hamilton in center. And Florimon with his 4th hit and 6 at bats. The Pirates get multiple runs here early in the ball game yet again. Nova got out in front of that just a little bit, but made it look good for a moment. Pirates get 2. And they lead 2-0. I should say the Pirates open up with a 2-0 lead over the Reds as we go to the bottom of the 2nd inning. And a look at our Allegheny Health Network injury update for today. And we haven't seen Zach Cozart in this series. He's been dealing with a sore right knee. Had surgery on that knee before the season. It's been bothering him on and off this season. So the Reds taking a cautious approach with their shortstop. And Rosie Red, one of the.
She also has no green on, but she has a leprechaun shirt, so I guess that's all right.
One of the many mascots the Reds have here. Oh, look at that.
And a certificate to something.
That was one of the Irish Heritage Day dancers
yes.
earlier before the game. Oh, look at that.
A hat. All kinds of goodies.
Oh, so nice. And a certificate.
First game certificate. That's what that is.
Scott Schebler. Hey, here's a bobblehead for you.
What else we got?
Oh, she's and a T-shirt.
This is like watching Blast in the 7th inning on a Sunday. Just keeps pulling stuff out of the bag.
Is that a piggy bank? What is that? That's cool. Or a baseball bank. Oh, it's Christmas in September. The Reds are wearing red and green.
Definitely a little Christmassy, isn't it? Red and green.
Yeah. All we need is the smell of pie.
You know, if there was like like a tube that was running right over Nova's left shoulder, they'd have 3 balls hit right through that tube now. Same spot. He's got to put his glove up.
Now he did on that Suarez ball back in the 1st inning, but withdrew it thinking that there'd be someone behind him to field it. There wasn't.
Like a pipeline heading right just to the right of second base.
Like skee ball almost.
Yeah.
If you get it through there. And 100 points. There's Ivan De Jesus Jr. He's bunting 2. Uh-oh.
That was an uh-oh.
That'd be an error. Fourth error for Bell. And Nova's had to kind of withstand a few balls getting by here so far early on. Both teams have not been very good defensively here in this series.
If he picks that, short hops it, I still don't know if they're going to get anybody out. I wonder if they could change that to a hit.
I wrote down hit.
Oh, you did?
And then yeah, but it is an error. It's ruled an error.
But I wonder if they'll change it watching that video.
My gut was a hit. I didn't even think.
Because if he comes up with it, who's he going to throw it to at first? Nobody's there.
That's what whiteout's for. Change that. Here's Barnhart, who hits well with runners in scoring position. That's evident now. The Reds are going to get one back. They're going to try to send De Jesus, and he's going to score two. Two-run double, all even at 2 apiece.
Number 8 guys are doing some damage.
And Florimon drove in a pair, and here Barnhart, who hits .367 with runners in scoring position, quickly evens the score. Bad location.
Yep, that's a room service fastball right down the middle. But that's, Nova's style, and it's going to burn you sometimes.
Gotta move the runner up. Straley, who is 0 for 48 in his career, is anytime you can have him bunt, you're going to have him bunt. With nobody out, that's the right play. Now with one out, a fly ball can give the Reds their first lead. Infield in for the Pirates. Jose Peraza grounded out his first trip. Really been swinging the bat well since his last call up about 4 weeks ago, hitting .394 since that last and final call up. 95 from Nova. High chop. We'll keep Barnhart at third and get the second out.
It's what you always like to see, somebody try and pull the ball when they're trying to hit a fly. Now, it's not impossible to hit a fly ball to left field, but it's way easier to hit a fly ball to right field. That's when you're out there on the mound, you're trying to throw them pitches that will encourage them to try and pull the ball. Hit it on the ground.
Well, those are some tall red legs.
It's behind him.
That is the opposite of a leprechaun. Here on Irish Heritage Day.
He'd be a great right fielder at PNC Park.
Yeah. Don't want to leave your feet, though.
Hey, it'd steal some home runs. He can reach up over the fence.
Hey, how's it going today?
Not sure it could show a lot of speed, though.
What's that inseam?
Running into the gap.
What's your inseam? 100? Oh. Okay. Really hard to find pans.
That's a high five right there.
Must be a bowler, I guess. He's got some. Went over to Lucky Lanes or whatever. He's really tough to get down there. Oh, he's a juggler. Okay.
Come on, juggle for us.
Part of the Cincinnati circus. So says his shirt. I was wondering if he's just a passerby or
fan.
Yeah.
I'd love to see him scramble after a foul ball.
I'd love to see him sit in one of these seats. Standing room only for that gent. That's to be sure. Hey, how's it going? I've never seen anybody that tall. Suarez still fighting. 2 balls, 2 strikes in this 2-2 game. Barnhart with that double. Talking with third base coach Billy Hatcher. Full with Votto on deck. Nova very rarely even gets the 3 balls. Yeah, you don't want him coming up, especially 2 men on. Got underneath it. Nova doesn't give in. And Suarez flies out to end the inning. The Reds tie it up. And we're through 2. We're tied at 2. Baseball, meet the PNC Park usher who helps guests find more than just their seats. Plus, Andrew McCutcheon is slugging his way past some of the Pirates' biggest home run hitters. That and more on Inside Pirates Baseball, presented by Allegheny Health Network. Today after postgame, right here on Root Sports. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy a ball game on Sunday afternoon.
Can't be anything much nicer than that, watching a ball game.
On our UPMC scoreboard, tied at 2.
Rocking the day away. Sham rocking.
Irish Heritage Day. Now the Reds wearing those green uniforms that they wear in spring training. They're the ones that invented that, I guess, or at least first started it. Back in 1978, their general manager at the time, Dick Wagner, thought he had a kind of a keen idea. The Reds were playing the Yankees in a spring training game in Florida, and the Yankees had just won the World Series. The Reds had won the previous 2, so wanted to kind of pull a trick on them a little bit, and had those green uniforms made up. and didn't tell anybody about it, including the players. And so the players come to their lockers that morning and they find out that they've got these green uniforms. Remember, this has never really been done before, anything of the sort. And so they all kept it quiet. They come out on the field. There's no social media or anything like that. And there they are in green uniforms, and everyone was aghast. What's happening? And so kind of been a tradition for the Reds in the late 70s, early 80s. The Dodgers started to do it a little bit in the 80s. Then by the late 80s, early 90s, it started to catch on. And now I don't know too many teams that don't do it. Great clubhouse man of the Reds who just passed away this past year, Bernie Stowe, was a big part of that too. And that's how the green uniforms came to be in baseball. Now a great tradition. And here on Irish Heritage Day, they bring them out 6 months and a day after St. Patrick's Day.
It certainly is one of the days everybody checks on their spring training calendar. There's usually a lot more going on around the ballpark than just the green uniforms.
That is, to say the least.
Yeah.
A very spirited day, usually. Yeah, Ryan Price. Green hats. The Reds are in green.
Green beer after the game.
Hopefully it's just died.
First time I had a green beer, I was like, whoa, what is this going to taste like? And then it was like, it's just a beer. They just painted it, so.
Yeah. Two men retired. Andrew McCutchen batting with the bases empty.
Second, third, fourth one, they all taste the same. I kept trying until I could get a difference. They're the same.
You're like, oh, the taste test here.
Yeah.
5 out of 5 Bob Walks prefer. Trying to figure it out, but yeah, so. I guess maybe they get some of those.
What's that green chartreuse or something? What do they call that stuff?
I don't know. Kool-Aid? Lime Kool-Aid. That's about the only green thing I think I've ever drank.
Bullfrogs.
Outside of St. Patrick's Day, that is. Deuce is wild. Got two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and a 2-2 tie to number 22. Yeah, you can play the 50-50 jackpot here. It's going up as we speak.
Had a nice day yesterday. They put both games together. Got up there pretty high.
McCutchen with a 2-out walk.
Can't have an inning without the red pitcher walking somebody.
I'm sure there was one. There was one yesterday, Bob, in the 8th inning of Game 2.
Look at all of that good beer.
That's all Oktoberfest stuff now.
Oh, it's the city has been one giant beer party.
Yeah, there's a lot of elephant ears and giant pretzels, and green cotton candies, all sorts of things being served at Oktoberfest. Walk through it on the way in. Different flavors of mustard. Everything you want. Polanco popped out his first time. And he's down 2 strikes to Straley. Pirates with a couple in the second. Reds answered. McCutchen aboard with 2 outs. The MVP's talking it over.
Some MVP talk.
Where's your trophy? Yeah, the MVP's. Oh, they get a plaque, right? Don't they get a plaque?
I wouldn't know.
The big nice.
Cy Young Awards plaque. I saw Graybeck sometime. Kept it in a drawer of all places.
Pirates and Reds tied at 2. None. Pirates have won them all, trying to make it a habit. 2-2 tie here in the bottom of the 3rd. And well, yesterday it was German Heritage Day here at Great American Ballpark, and that's you said you wanted to get some lederhosen, so
I am definitely going to get some lederhosen. Yeah, I really like that look. I'm going to go for it.
I've seen you with a Stein before, but never dressed like that. That's a nice look.
Sometime around the next
Votto hits this one deep out to right center, and it's off the wall. He thought that was out of here. He had to turn on the Jets.
He jogged into first and then had to run to get the second.
After keeping him quiet yesterday, Votto is 2 for 2.
Yep, he thought he had a home run. Well, it's a day game at Cincinnati, and you mentioned how the ball flies to get out to right field. So he's very surprised this one didn't go.
Votto's hit 24 home runs, but the yard holds it. Duvall has hit 31, including once in this series. .28 doubles for Votto, and Nova threw him a changeup over the middle of the plate. It's not like Nova doesn't throw the ball over the middle of the plate often. He does. Just we haven't seen a lot of hard contact off him in many of these starts.
Yeah, he's got enough movement, say, on his fastball that most of the time that'll take a little sting out of the bat, even if he does catch a good part of the plate.
Well, 2 doubles he's given up have been right over the middle of the plate. That fastball to Barnhart in a second, and then that time a changeup to Votto. Very Seldom see him throw one of those. Gun. It's the first out. You know, we were looking at that Lederhosen, well, today Irish Heritage Day, Bob. So why wouldn't you maybe try some more festive gear? There you go.
Oh man.
You know, maybe grow it out a little bit. You got a whole off season to.
I like that pipe though.
Get that going.
I could see myself with that pipe. I like that.
Now that is a really good look for you, I think.
You think?
Yeah, you kind of fit right in there.
This coming spring training on the 17th.
I'll do it if you do it. I don't know if I can grow the beard as well as.
Well, I know I can't.
Yeah, well, we'll get.
I can do a straggly mustache is all I can really do.
Is that right?
A couple little chin hairs and that's it.
I thought that mustache that you worked on. I mean, it was pretty good for a while.
Straggly.
Yeah.
Wasn't much. Just a little bit here, a little bit here. That's all it was.
Greg Brown. Maybe we can get him in on the act.
No, Rock. He's got the good one going all the time.
Yeah, we got a whole off season to grow those out, and then look out, Bradenton.
I have a boss that I live with at home that is kind of like Don Mattingly. He's no facial hair, so that's going to be a non-starter for me.
Yeah. Greg Brown today providing the music for our Irish celebration. He had it on his iPod or MP3 player or whatever he's got in his pocket.
You know, it's just kind of an old school stadium. You have to hold the window open over there with a stick. I don't know if you've noticed that.
Yeah, well, you want to get his coffee or ice cream or water. How many things does he have there?
Well, I'm sure we can only see half of them.
Yeah. Probably working on some peanuts somewhere too.
Got to get back. Got to get back in a hurry.
Votto's going to score. And Phillips with the double. The Reds have their first lead. Three doubles hit off Nova today.
Phillips is doing this kind of stuff for the Reds for a long, long time. Coming up with big hits. Drives this one on that opposite field gap. You know, really, you think about it, right-handers, left-handers, that direction toward like the PNC power stacks out there, whether it's a line drive through the infield or a long drive like this one, that's where the balls have been hit hardest against Nova, right in that direction.
And that is a little bit deeper of an area out there that plays more fairly. 32 doubles. Phillips moves his hitting streak to 8 games. He's been a red hot Red. Ray Searage talking it over.
It's like he's doing more talking with Cervelli than he is Nova.
Well, we'd always see Nova throw the ball over the middle of the plate, but we're seeing it hit very solidly today when he has. Reds trying to scratch out one of these 4 games. Scott Schebler, who has homered in this series, singled his first time around. Already 6 hits for Cincinnati. Maybe the luck of the Irish working for them today. Didn't work for Notre Dame yesterday. Although they almost came back. That'll drop in. Phillips on his way home. And he'll score, and the Reds are up 4-2.
Not the game that I saw happening 6 runs on the board now between these two teams against the starting pitching.
That one was supposed to be maybe a little bit more in, and it came back a part of the plate.
They hit it a little bit harder. Frazier might have had a play. Just had too far to come to get to that ball. Some more luck of the Irish. We need to put some green on here quickly. Turn the tide.
I've always got some green and white somewhere, so find something.
Was that who beat the Irish yesterday?
Oh, yeah.
Green and white.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
why you brought that up.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Just had to mention. Went to Michigan State, so had to throw that in there real quick.
Hey, you got to, be proud of your team every now and then when they get a good shot.
Notre Dame's a good team.
It doesn't happen very often where they win. When they do, you got to toot your horn. I get it.
That one hit well too. Followed by Frazier in left. That will enable Schebler to get the third. That'll be an error. A hit for DeJesus. The error for the extra base.
That's 7 hits now. Could have been 8. Remember they got that ball that got charged an error on Bell earlier that probably could have been a hit.
Now this is other than I think what was his second start, Nova's second start.
Yeah.
This is the only other time that he's been hit hard in really any of his outings with the Pirates. We're so used to him just playing catch, especially after that last start where
Cervelli's got something in his eye. And that's a call to the bullpen.
And Potenziano, assistant athletic trainer of the Pirates.
Get both eyes. More on the right.
Dry eyes. Also gives Nova a moment, slows things down. Reds have been building some momentum here in this inning.
Yeah, they only have 1 out, so I mean this is still a tough situation. Barnhart, who doubled in the first 2 runs, now stepping in.
And he's grounded into 11 double plays. Nova gets a lot of ground balls. Get out of it. Okay, you're down 2, not great, but still very manageable here so very early in the game. This will be deep enough to score a run. Schebler will trot in, and that error costly there. So instead of Schebler going to third, tagging up there, he scores from third. With the pitcher coming up who is hitless in his entire career.
If he stays hitless, then that's going to be an unearned run.
And both teams have not fared very well defensively in the series. Straley is 0 for 48. There's his first major league hit. His average goes up to .020. And they know.
Oh, yeah. The reaction is like he just hit a home run. Look at that.
It's his 5th big league season. He's finally got a hit. One for 49 now.
He gets this hit, and then Polanco tries to throw him out at first. He's not looking. He's happy, and now it's like, uh-oh, I gotta hurry up here.
That happened with Jamison Tyone earlier this year. He thought he had his first major league hit, and he got thrown out by the right fielder. Yeah. Polanco's like, I'm going to do everything I can to get him. So the Reds with 5 hits in the inning, 9 total off Nova. Two on, and they turn the lineup over for Peraza. Eighth man to come up here in the Cincinnati 3rd inning. And Peraza down on strikes. Reds score 3 times. Through 3. Cincinnati up 5-2.
Toyota RAV 4th inning. The all-wheel drive RAV hybrid has performance that will make you rethink hybrid. Let's go Bucks!
Great American Ballpark in the shadows of its namesake. 5-2 Reds through 3 innings. Reds trying to get 1 game in this series. Nova a rare outing where the opponents have made some solid contact off.
Yep. Guess it was bound to happen. Didn't think today would be the day.
Dan Straley coming off of his first hit. He probably said the same thing.
Didn't think today would be the day. Probably not. It was probably the point to where he didn't think he was going to get a hit.
He's 1 for 49 now. And Nova allowing 5 runs. That's the most he's allowed in his brief time with the Pirates. Now they got to get him back. Pirates have been scoring a lot of runs. They have scored 7 or more in each of the last 4 games. And in fact, coming in to this series, well, heck, let's include today. Why not? While we're at it, they've scored 43 runs since Thursday. They scored 44 the rest of the month of September. So this has been a very offensive last few days for the Pirates. 5 runs. Pshaw.
Yeah, I agree with you. The way they've been hitting. There will be some long balls today.
Peraza is not going to get this one.
Late start. He misread that. He kind of started off kind of a little drifting jog and then saw it was over his head and it was too late.
Now we see sometimes guys try to meet the ball as it arrives, but
be waiting for it.
Yeah, isn't it usually best to do that, right?
Usually, yeah. That's the way it's kind of taught.
So Gunn on base both times today. In the month of September, he's been on base more times than he's not been on base. over 500. And a leadoff double, a chance to cash in a run. Cervelli singled his last time. Well, you were saying earlier, who knew that today would be the day? You know, Nova maybe not having as an effective as an outing. Dan Straley coming up with his first hit. How about Cervelli's first home run of the year? Maybe today will be the day for that.
This will be a good road trip for that at some point.
Hitter-friendly ballparks.
Very much so.
Milwaukee next on this sojourn. 11-game trip for the Pirates. Almost up and in on Cervelli.
Take a look on the replay. That looked like it hurt. Boy, he hit his back hard.
Really hit the deck hard. Now 2-1. And Gung out at second. He just missed. Leadoff double for Gung. He's been a big reason why the Pirates have been scoring a lot of runs.
That time on the disabled list here late in the year, hurt his shoulder there for a while. Really has helped him out a lot.
Yeah, Gung for the first time being able to play every day.
He came back, he shed a couple pounds.
I asked him about that. He says no, but I think we both seen him look a little bit.
He told Greg that he lost 8 pounds.
Okay, well then maybe something was lost in translation when I talked to him.
Well,
my Korean's not
sometimes there's different. I just thought he did by the way he looked when he first came back.
I thought so too.
Said,
yeah.
Wow, he looks thinner.
Yeah.
So Greg went down and asked him, and at that point, this was now, it had been a week or so ago, and Greg said the other day that he did ask him and that he had lost 8 pounds. So.
Now maybe I followed up a day later and he had a very big meal.
Yeah.
3-2 on Cervelli.
It's not uncommon to get different answers of ball players. So.
Well, regardless, it looks like he's even in better shape.
Yeah, I agree. You know, maybe we're reading things into it because he's ripping the cover off the ball, making great diving catches in the field and stuff. But he looks like he's got a ton of energy and very athletic.
There's a lot of guys in great shape who can't hit, and there's a lot of guys who appear to be out of shape that are some of the game's best hitters.
Especially in the past. Especially in the past.
Yeah. Well, let's look at some Point Park tweets, and Jung Ho having some fun with Clint Hurdle before the game. That one will go up on the mantelpiece or maybe on the wall in the Gung household. Keepsake. Grip it and rip it. That is the approach for Sean Rodriguez, and for the most part it's worked. And batting average too is 265. It's not like he's, you know, hitting the home runs with an, you know, at an expense here. See a strike and try to hit it a long way. Just off the end of the bat.
You can look at some of those other numbers too, the more modern numbers than batting average. It's on base percentage, a slugging percentage. They're up there nicely. He's doing a great job with that stick.
Get in and look at his weighted on base, 365.
Normally he's not really happy about making outs, you can see. I'm sorry, with the weighted batting average?
Weighted on base, 365, pretty good. Yeah, I mean, different numbers that all tell you the same thing.
Is that because we had to wait for you to find that, or?
Yes. Yeah, weighted.
What is weighted on base average? Or?
It incorporates some of the other elements of a player's skill. And I don't know all the numbers, but they characterize things like slugging percentage, you know, the quality of hits, as well as getting on base. It's a more accurate OPS, on base plus slugging, instead of just adding the numbers together, which is in my opinion, a lazy way of doing it. They actually try to kind of combine the two things.
Whoa. That's the way I do it.
Well, that's the way everybody does it.
Oh. I'm lazy then, huh?
No, we're all lazy.
Yeah.
we sit in a chair and talk about baseball. We're not running marathons here.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Tyler Glass now getting up. Pitched the other day.
Oh, is there a weighted ERA?
There's deserved run average, which is a kind of a newer thing that tries to take out some of the fat, so to speak. I could go into boring detail with that, but there's a lot of numbers that are not widely looked at outside of the analytics community, so to speak, and some of them have some merit. But I always like to I don't just buy into a number can tell you everything. It's kind of sometimes if you got a hunch on something, or if you want a general idea, sometimes some of these numbers can give you a slightly better idea than maybe just one number in itself.
Like there was no number that would tell you that Sean was going to hit 4 home runs in the last 5-6 games. Those are the kind of things where you got to like kind of maybe say, hey, it looked like he's really comfortable at the plate. We're going to put him in that lineup for next couple of days. I mean, that's kind of stuff I think that the managers try to mix in with those numbers. Good managers.
Yeah, I mean the eye test. Right. I mean, there are scouts that every team has, advanced scouts that will go around and look at the opposition, get a feel for guys. I mean, what about their pace on the mound? Are they fidgety? Are they confident? Certain guys. Can you tell in a number? Can you tell on a chart? Can you tell in a graph if a guy's taking good swings but just not getting the right outcome? Or can you see he's taking poor swings but is having results, and maybe that's not going to sustain itself? Sometimes
so it's time maybe to you'll see somebody like the opposite of that, taking good swings. He's like, he's going to get hot here soon. Time for us to start playing him. Like, let's say he's a bench guy.
Matt Joyce pinch hitting for Nova here in the 4th inning. This will be the shortest outing for Nova as a Pirate. Well, Nova, who has done so much to help the Pirates' cause today, just very hittable. 9 hits in those 3 innings. Young has to hurry just to get back in time. A very big secondary lead, and Barnhart wasn't having it.
Oh, pretty accurate throw. And normally I'm not real big on 2-out pickoff plays, but when you have either the second baseman or the shortstop playing right behind the bag, then why not? Because you're not bringing anybody out of position to take that throw. They're already there to begin with. That's where you want them to play, is right up the middle. So as a runner, you got to realize that and say, hey, they're playing up the middle, so it would be nothing for them to throw behind me. They're out there at their normal positions. They're probably not going to want to leave early and open up a hole to hit through just so they can try a pickoff throw. But as you can see right there, he doesn't have to leave his position. He just moves forward and takes the throw.
Peraza. And Dan Straley's going to get out of a jam. 2 on with nobody out. Pirates leave him aboard, and Cincinnati hangs on to their 3-run lead.
Great American Ballpark as they go for the 2-game sweep. The Reds talked a little bit about the green uniforms that they're wearing today for Irish Heritage Day. And speaking of uniforms, we're going to discuss uniforms on Tuesday night on Twitter Tuesday, because our guest is a pretty cool one who's hanging right over my shoulder right here. That is the head clubhouse and equipment manager right there talking to Eric Fryer. That's Scott Bonnet. We affectionately refer to him as Bones. And Bones will be taking your questions. So fire away right now if you have a question, anything you want to know behind the scenes about uniforms, bats, gloves, baseballs, you name it. He's the man to ask. Bucks Tuesday is the hashtag. Please include that with your tweet and your question for Equipment Man, Bones, Scott Bonnet. And Joe, last year, his segment was so popular, we actually had to do him twice because we had so many questions. We couldn't get to everything in the first Twitter Tuesday when we joined him. So should be pretty good.
Yeah, it's neat. Thanks, Robbie. That, you know, all the different things that happen behind the scenes that just get done because of he and his staff. Tyler Glass now aboard.
See Tyler's numbers. It'd be interesting to watch that radar gun numbers today. He was throwing the ball the hardest really we've seen him since he's been called up in his last outing.
It was 98.
High 90.
Yeah, 98. And with, you know, no perceived extra effort.
No, it almost looked like he was using less effort, just exploding out of his hand.
Suarez, Votto, and Duvall. His first. There's Ray Searage. And he's got one out as Frazier shoestrings that one. Yeah, Glasgow in that last outing, a crisp affair too. Just pitched the 1 inning as the game moved along on Friday.
Whoa, that one almost came out. Didn't see that. Just the replay.
Now today we're seeing Frazier, who has made a miscue already today, out there in left. Seeing 94 and 95 from Glass now with the fastball. but was working more 96 to 98 earlier in that outing on Friday. And he told me the other day that Glasnow's stride, or I guess where his landing foot is, was, in his opinion, going too far. It was too long, and he's working, or has worked, to shorten where that front foot lands a little bit. And he seemed like, he said, everything kind of came into place for him in that outing.
Almost seems like at times he steps all the way to the grass. He really got long legs and is way out there.
6'8". Almost looked like that guy we saw juggling earlier. The stilts. But seeing Glasnow throw that curveball very sharply, that fastball at 96 to 98. He said that in his last few outings in Indianapolis and his time with the Pirates, he was plagued by that. But prior to that, prior to his first call up, he had that going, and that's why his numbers were so very good in the minor leagues. We didn't see that Glasnow here with the Pirates until Friday. And we may not be seeing it here today because it doesn't seem to be
it's kind of
the
like
same command. And
93, 94, mainly to this point. Somebody that's as tall as he is, I could see where it'd be easy to kind of get out there and start overstriding.
Walks Votto.
That fastball at 92.
Yeah, there's nothing. You look at the velocity and you say, "Oh no, is his arm hurt?" No. Mechanics can sometimes change I mean, especially a guy that big.
That 92, I think he maybe aimed that one a little bit. I think he backed off trying to throw a strike.
Rather than seeing that free and easy commanding 96 to 98.
That could be something that's involved in it also. Is there was so much talk about his control, the walk numbers and that sort of thing before he got up here. So there may have been some, just a little strategy issue with him too. Like maybe he was like, okay, when I do get up there, I got to show these guys I can throw strikes. I can stay with it myself. And maybe he was just kind of backing off the accelerator a little bit. Those two things together, I could see that bringing the fastball numbers down a little bit.
I've seen that with a tall pitcher. Let's see, where's his stride? Yeah, he's almost to the grass.
He's out there a long ways.
Does that appear, as a racer, it looks at, does it appear to, but it depends, right? Because he's long-legged, he's 6'8".
Everybody's different also. I mean, I don't think that there's any like, okay, you're 6'8", let's get a tape measure out and measure from the rubber. This is where you're supposed to step. No, that's not the way it works. Everybody is different. Some guys pitch better with a long stride. Some guys, shorten up, and it's not always any relationship to are you tall or not. You could be a guy that's 5'10" out there and have, relatively speaking, a very long stride and have a lot of success with that.
If I remember correctly, Tom Gordon was a guy like that. He was 5'9", hard throwing pitcher. Florimon will retire Duvall for the second out. And that's for Glasnow, I'm sure, as he's working out of the bullpen, this gives him more opportunities. If he's pitching 2 or 3 times a week, he's going to have more opportunities to try to perfect that going into the offseason.
The only thing that it costs you, although I did see him have a sideline the other day out in the bullpen, was if you're a starter, you can have that sideline when you're getting out there and you're pitching for a while. Under circumstances where the pitching coach is standing there making comments to you, things like that. So there's a little bit of a difference there.
And Polanco able to haul that one in.
Nice play.
So the walk left on. Through 4 from Cincy. It's 5-2 Reds. Brought to you by T-Mobile. And last night, Albert Pujols with his 30th home run of the year. 14 seasons now with 30 or more home runs. Just the 4th player in baseball history to do that. That's superhuman. And for Cleveland, 9 pitchers yesterday to shut out the Tigers, setting a record for most pitchers used in a shutout. Yeah, September baseball. As Cleveland now 12, I think it's right, 12-1 against Detroit this year. They are single-handedly winning the division because of what they've done in that head-to-head matchup against the second-place Tigers. Here it's 5-2 Reds. Pirates green with envy as it's Irish Heritage Day for Cincinnati. Frazier has walked and been set down on strikes. I've been amazed to see this number coming into today. It's a tick down after a strikeout in the 3rd, but Frazier's batting .359 with 2 strikes. That's probably about I would say double what league average is. A soft line out there. But he has been impressive with the bat in the 100+ at bats we've seen him.
Well, I think next year we're going to see a lot more of him.
Yeah, maybe.
He has proven himself.
He's come off the bench.
Yeah, I don't know what his role is going to be. I just know that when you hit the way he has up here, that they'll find something for you to do next year, even if it's coming off the bench again. He's a big leaguer.
Josh Bell, get kind of the same feeling, right, with his bat. Now, Bell, of course, Pirates have very much invested more heavily in him.
Yeah, he's been pretty much an everyday starter since he's been up with us the 2nd time.
And Frazier, a 6th-round pick, with Bell signing for a big bonus as a 2nd-rounder 5 years ago. So that usually means, okay, we think a lot of him, and the way the Bell's hit, you can see why. Both guys, at least by my estimation, still need some work on defense. And so now what do you do? But when they hit enough, guys will find a role.
Gave that one a nice ride.
Hey, you can bring your family to PNC Park for the last Kids Day of the season Sunday when the Pirates take on the Nationals at 1:35. Come on out to the #1 Cochran Family Fun Zone on Federal Street before the game and after the game. Kids run the bases, compliments of the original pizza logs, plus all fans 14 and younger receive a special kids-only giveaway. Get your tickets at pirates.com. Andrew McCutcheon has batted with 2 outs and the base is empty all 3 times today. That's something that the Pirates, when they started him as the #2 hitter to begin this year, that they were trying to avoid having him come up in those situations, but in mid-June put back into his familiar #3 spot and basically has hit with a similar amount of men on, but has come up in that situation with 2 outs and no men on way more often.
I think that's what, remember we talked about, he and Votto having the VIP talk out there at first base last time.
Votto was a #2 hitter for a long period of time here.
Probably said they made you hit #2 also, huh?
Well, that's part of the newfangled thinking, right? That the Pirates, Glenn Hurl has said multiple times that the #2 spot in the batting order, in his opinion, is the most important place. Then the 4 spot, the 1 spot, the 5 spot, and then the 3 spot. That's the 5th most important spot in the batting order, according to Clint Hurdle. So, which is contrary to what we've heard for years and years and years. The 3 and 4 hitters with your leadoff hitter probably are the top spots, but there's new numbers, there's new thoughts, there's analytics, statistics that speak to the Pirates otherwise, and other teams too, like the Reds when they had more hitters in their lineup. This one carrying well. And Peraza just didn't make a play on it.
Didn't catch it.
Okay.
Not exactly playing the heck out of center field this afternoon, is he?
Not much. Just kind of watched it. Went toward it though.
Yeah, there he's like,
really?
No. Should I catch this? No, better not. I'll just let it hit the fence next to me.
That's a little befuddling. Why? But
that ball hit the fence about a foot from where he rested his glove.
And McCutchen, I mean, you know, the way that he's behaving right there, he thinks, okay, it's a routine out. And he's right. Billy Hamilton on the disabled list for the Reds, who has done a nice job converting from a shortstop or a middle infielder, moving out to center field.
One of the better center fielders in baseball, I think.
The Reds are trying to do the same thing with Peraza here. He's not really had any experience in the outfield prior to last season. A little bit in the minors with the Braves, but not much. By what we've seen today, he's not responding as quickly. But he's not had as much experience as Billy Hamilton out there either. Hamilton got a full season in the minors before he got called up to center field.
Who's their second baseman of the future? Is it Peraza?
Probably Peraza with Zach Cozart at short. That's probably his best position. But right now, end of the year, injuries. Okay. That's why you take a look. You can say, oh, he can do this, or maybe he can't do this. On 3-0. Duvall is there. And the 2-out double left stranded. Still 5-2 Cincinnati.
Sports is brought to you by the Chevy Silverado and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Barrel. Visit Barrel.com to learn more about our 3 conveniently located collision centers. Let's go Bucks!
Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. 5-2, the Reds have the lead. And all the various Reds mascots racing.
I don't know what that red thing is, but he's fast.
That's Gapper. I don't know what he is either, but he's Gapper. He's got a kilt on for
Scottish Heritage Day.
yes, which paired Scotch are also being.
Maybe this is the British Isles is a
Yeah.
Heritage Day.
Welsh Heritage inning here. Smaller environment. Look at our Point Park tweets.
I agree.
Yeah. Or Mexico. Right. With the Kelly green and red helmets. And
Don't have an eagle.
ah, that's fair. Why not have a little fun with it? It should say "Old Reds" or something, right? Or "of the Red." You know, I don't know. I don't know much about Irish heritage. I have to ask Greg Brown what would be appropriate. Maybe something in Gaelic or something. I'm not sure. Those are some of the dancers before the game. Focused in on the action. You don't see someone that age without without a phone right in front of their face. I want to share with everyone what's going on. 3-2 on Schebler. Last now a scoreless fourth inning in relief of Ivan Nova. Gave up 5 runs, 3 earned in his 3 innings. And he strikes out Schebler. We were talking last inning, that last outing he had working consistently with the fastball 96 to 98. And here back down around 93 to 95. And as he continues to get consistent, like we saw that flash last time around, that was enough for me to go, wow, this guy, once he gets that consistency, big tall frame, this is what everybody's talking about.
Oh, nice little curveball there to get a head strike one.
He hasn't been bad when we've seen him, but we were waiting for that kind of eye-popping performance.
The velocity.
Yeah. And the really sharp curve. But even so, that 93, because of those long arms, it probably gets on hitters a little quicker than, say, another guy's 93, right? That release point's a little closer to home plate.
0-2 pitch. You just try to bury that curveball, see if you get chase, and overthrew it a little.
Try to bounce it.
Well, yeah, you're trying to bounce it. You're trying to bounce it just right in front of the catcher's glove, and not way out in front of home plate, because you're probably not going to get a swing out there. You want that ball to hit just basically right there in front of the catcher.
Still 1-2 on De Jesus. Yeah, the most tall pitchers that we've seen, I mean, you know, Glass now 6'8", usually takes them a little longer to kind of become consistent, if they do.
Oof. Wow, he got a chase out there. I didn't think he'd get a chase out there, but he did. Wow.
That must have really broken.
I mean, this ball way out in front, and look how far outside it is. Ball bounced in the left-hand hitter's batter's box.
Started out looking like maybe it's just off the plate. Maybe he could take it out to right field or something, but boy, it was nowhere close by the end. Barnhart's having a day. He's driven in 3. Double and sac fly.
Pretty good command of that fastball today, even though it's not the big velocity numbers. For the most part, hitting some good spots with it.
Now that has improved since our first looks at him. Yeah, the walk numbers in the minor leagues: 5 walks per 9 innings. And probably about half that is what you would deem to be acceptable. But also almost completely unhittable. I think he gave up about 5 hits per 9 innings too, which is off the charts good.
Yeah, if you look at what they call it, the whip.
Walks plus hits divided by innings
that
pitched.
Probably was in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, that overall number was good. So the amount of base runners basically that he's putting on base is better than average.
The pitching equivalent to an on-base percentage.
Just about, yeah. 3-1.
So you could say, well, he's only hitting .250, but he's got an on-base percentage of .350, so we're all right with it.
Now full on Barnhart. Now Glasnow working out of the bullpen here. Glenn Hurdle has said that just wanted to see how Glasnow would respond. You know, not having the anticipation of the start and planning and everything, just getting a phone call, getting up and pitching. That's not to say that he's not in the plans to be a starting pitcher. He is. But here in September, just for this exercise, he wanted to see what that looks like, and he is. So far, Glasnow is looked good. Just turned 23 years old a few weeks ago.
You know, again, we have no idea what his future lies as starter or whatever, but there have been guys with that kind of stuff and that kind of body type that have come along and have been absolute lockdown closers for a decade. So there is that little, like, makes you wonder what is he going to be like coming out of the bullpen.
Going to be intriguing.
Yeah, he might be 40 save a year guy.
Yeah, or he could be
so
a really durable starter. I think the Pirates have a few guys like that.
I mean, he's just starting out now, and we'll see where he ends up at.
No one caught part of the play. According to Scott Berry on our UPMC strike zone.
A little bit outside.
I was going to think that was the best cutting fastball I've ever seen, because at the point where it was caught and where across the plate was quite a difference. Hey, everyone. Can't get them all right. Scott Berry's done a nice job today.
It was a great job by Cervelli on that block and that last curveball.
Hooked the fastball that time.
Yeah, we're talking about his command that had been very good, especially with the fastball, but it started to disappear once he got 2 outs this inning. Last few breaking balls have not been in a good spot at all. I've been missing badly with it, and now, as you just mentioned, that's a duck hook fastball that almost went to the backstop.
Now full on the opposing pitcher. Straley just got his first big league hit his last time around. 1 for 49 now. Not being sarcastic, but a guy you want to challenge.
Yep.
Says it all. And he strikes him out. So Glass now strikes out 3 in the inning. Through 5 from Cincinnati. 5-2 Reds.
Copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
And just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in the game, brought to you by Miller Lite. 5-2 Cincinnati. Haven't blown their stack yet. A lot of Buccos fans making their way for all the festivities in and around the ballpark and within it. Nice easy ride for those in and around Western PA or in Eastern Ohio. Just never have to cross state lines. Just come on into the ballpark here. Probably should have saved the red shirt for tomorrow, but it's okay. They got green on today anyway, so who cares?
Yep.
The Bradenton Marauders, your Florida State League champions. That's nifty. I like that. Jung Ho Gung has been on base both times today. And Straley back out for a 6th inning. You know, he's going to, not that wins amount to much these days, but he's going for his 13th victory today. He leads the Reds. The Pirates finally got their first double-digit winner yesterday. Juan Nicasio won in relief. He's got 10 wins now, leading the ball club. One gone here in the 6th. Watch the drive to the pennant with MLB.com Premium. You can watch every out-of-market game live in HD on more than 400 supported devices, and you can enjoy a free subscription to At-Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv. Cervelli today has singled and walked. Pirates have had a couple of chances against Straley, one of which that they converted. Florimon with a 2-run triple in the 2nd. Young and Cervelli got aboard with to lead off the 4th inning, but they didn't move any further. Suarez has the 2nd out. Very affable. Always upbeat, talking to people, having a good time.
He very badly wants to win, though. I'll tell you, he looks like that kind of friendly guy, but dig down a little bit, he's not quite like that. He's got a little old school in him. And he wants to beat that other team. He'll give him a smile and say hi to him and stuff, but
Rodriguez deep out to center. Peraza. And there it goes, just over his reach. Sean Rodriguez has hovered again.
I thought that Jung Ho was hot.
5 homers on the road trip. And Pedro Florimon had driven in the rest of the runs. Sean Rodriguez, 5 homers on the trip. Hitting streak at 8 games now. My goodness. Rip it and rip it.
Played both games yesterday.
And homered in both.
And not tired.
Not tired of getting 90-mile-per-hour fastballs there. More toward the end of the bat, too. Still able to muscle it out to center. Florimon is out. Pirates pick up a run. And home run number is 17 by Sean Rodriguez. Cleveland has dominated Detroit in the season series. Here on the UPMC scoreboard, 5-3 now after Sean Rodriguez's 17th home run. Homered on each end of the doubleheader yesterday. 5 homers on this 8-game road trip. He's hit safely in every game.
You can see if you watch the catcher's glove there, how far that was from the spot that they were trying to throw. It ended up being a mistake pitch.
Peraza gave it a look off of his glove.
Yeah,
too.
ball hit his glove. I didn't know that. .401 feet estimated
on StatCast. Now just beside that, I guess.
Hey, I've learned my lesson. If the computer says 401, then that's what it was. Don't be second guessing it. Just because the sign says something different doesn't mean a thing. It's all about velocity and launch angle.
Let's look at our day automotive this day in Pirates history. And back in 1960, the Pirates sweeping a doubleheader from the Reds at Crosley Field, and they won Game 1 5-3 as Vernon Law, winning his 20th of the year in a complete game effort. He would go on to win the Cy Young that year, and they won the nightcap 1-0 as Vinegar Ben Mizell with a complete game shutout, and Dick Schofield doubling in the game's only run. There's some names from years gone by in that great season. A little nubber. Rodriguez had a lot of spin on it, but it took care of that one. And today marks the U.S. Air Force's 69th birthday. USAA honors those who have served in the U.S. Air Force and all our service members from around the world. Joey Votto batting with the bases empty. He's been on base every time today.
It happens with him occasionally. Can't get him out.
Pirates did a good job in the doubleheader, 0 for 8, but you know that's just not going to last long. There's Rosy Red up on the riverfront part of the ballpark, right down the right field line. You're a big fan of Rosy Red, huh?
Oh, all of them. I think they do a great job here with the big heads.
Yeah. Out there entertaining some folks down the right field line and second deck there, club area.
Some of your better mascots.
Quantity and quality.
That curveball just doesn't really have the touch for it today, I don't think. We saw him early on when we first got out there. Remember, he threw like some strike one curveballs. Good location, but a lot of them now are bouncing in front of the plate, out in fair territory.
Well, we were talking there earlier about last outing on Friday, where for the first time as a Pirate we saw him with that, not only with that fastball velocity up in the upper 90s easily and consistently, but also the curveball with a terrific snap.
Yep. And I think shortening up your stride probably has more effect on your breaking stuff than anything else.
That hit off the back of his foot. Maybe a base hit. I guess the left foot.
Seems to be okay.
Well, if you're going to get hit in the foot, that's probably the best spot to get hit, right? Probably has the most padding. He's waving off Todd Tomzik, the head athletic trainer.
I wonder if it kind of hit off his the bottom part, also the sole.
If it gets the sole, maybe it gets you a little bit, but it's right on that back part of the shoe. It probably doesn't feel like a whole lot. Last now has convinced everybody that it's just fine.
Cannon seems probably about 100. There's some long pan. They even gather up around the bottom.
tall drink of water. There's Garrett Cole looking on. Josh Harrison, some of the Pirates who will not be playing the rest of the year.
And they just balked. Moves everybody up 90 feet.
Glenn Hurdle satisfied with the explanation.
Yeah, I wanted to know what it was they called, but there you can see it.
Yep. Just that flinch. If you're on the rubber, you can't do that with men aboard.
There's it.
Knee buckle.
Good control of a curveball for strike one. Always nice to make the hitter give a little ground to you when you throw that hook.
Ball and a strike.
And that fastball just at 90. He's threw some 92s this inning also. Really backing down, if that indeed is his good fastball that he's trying to pop. Might be getting a little fatigued.
Now, this will probably be his last inning. Spot due up leading off the next frame. And just in case he can't finish it, Drew Hutchison. He'll probably come on maybe even finish this one off. Try to get him some extended work. See if Glasnow can get out with 3 scoreless. That would be good today. In a 2-run game. Good pitch. Curveball is always the toughest pitch for an umpire to judge because it's where it breaks over the front of the plate, not where it's caught. That determines where it is in the strike zone.
Part of that conversation right there.
And Scott Berry was right on.
little smile and a chuckle there at the end.
Scott Berry, the 6th-year umpire out of Quincy, Michigan. Rodriguez made that look easy. A little bit of a tough hop. 2 hits, 2 left through 6. Pirates within 2.
Sports is brought to you by USAA Insurance, banking and investments tailored for the military community.
Five to 3, the Reds have the advantage here on this Sunday afternoon in Cincinnati. Bring your hat, come on. Have a good time here at the ballpark. Michael Lorenzen now aboard for Cincinnati.
He's pitched very well for these Reds this year. One of the guys that comes in toward the end part of the game, normally when they have a lead. What do you call those guys nowadays? Bridge pitchers? Is that such a thing? Could be.
Short, really high leverage.
It's a bridge guy.
Okay, I like it.
Of course, we could come up with something even more clever than bridge.
Pinochle.
Think of a. Oh. I like that though. He's a pinochle guy. Pinochle pitcher.
Another card game, right? John Jaso pinch hitting for Glass now. 3 scoreless innings. Jaso with 8 pinch hits. Dan Straley went 6 innings, gave up 3 runs. Jaso retired on strikes.
Pretty big swing on that pitch, came up empty, trying to put that one out in those stands.
Bob, we got a friend of yours here
oh
today.
Yeah,
heard you're a big fan, so no. That hot shot is going to get Frazier aboard.
Been aboard a lot lately.
Wow. She came all the way up to see you. Look at that. Here on Irish Heritage Day.
Amazing. No green though.
Yeah.
How come there's no green?
Hi.
How you doing?
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you. Hi. Bob's a big fan of yours. He's talking about you.
Yeah, you guys do a great job down there.
He's been talking about you pretty much the entire game.
Oh yeah, all game long.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
That's amazing.
I don't mean to give you a big head or anything, but just that one gets away, and Frazier's going to move up. Rosie the Red. Now, how'd you do in the race today? No comment. No. Oh, okay. Yeah. No.
Have you ever won the race? Just once.
One time.
One time only.
Yeah.
Huh?
Well, if we had another game in the series, Bob said he was going to race with you guys, but
no, I'm not much of a speed guy.
Oh.
I'm too old for that. I'm way too old for that.
Yeah, I'll do it. No, sure. Yeah, I mean, I'll lose, but I'll try. Yeah, I don't mind. But you know, I've also had a hard time running and then my head weighing me down. So that's, I don't have much underneath it. What can you do? I know what's going on down there. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, a little bit of cowlick here. Yeah, you want to be our stylist? Yeah.
Needs a polishing, right?
Yeah, you got something. There we go. Okay. Now I'm good. Thank you. I don't want that shine. That's always.
You're gonna have to put some anti-shine on now for the post game.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's all to get it all rubbed off.
Rosie, thank you for coming up here. I know you got a lot of people to see today. You've really made our day.
Thank you, Rosie.
Thank you, Rosie. Oh,
thank you very much.
Wow. Rosie the Red.
And you're a little red after that.
Oh, yeah.
I think you're blushing.
Oh, yeah, I'm blushing. Yeah, I got a little peck on the head there.
Yeah. Hope Lori's not watching.
He's probably watching the Steeler game.
Well, she just missed out. Thanks to Rosie the Red and all of our fun mascots here at Cincinnati for entertaining us and everybody else that comes to the games here, and especially Bob. Now, those guys don't have any mascots. I don't see Gapper going in there and tickling John Wayne or anything like that. Right to Phillips. Move over to Frazier, but there's 2 gone now.
Excellent chance to tie the game here with one swing of the bat.
Well, Andrew McCutchen has driven in a run in each of his last 5 games. Has yet to do so here today. Bob and Rosie sitting in the tree. I think she could hear you talking about her. Well, 2-0 on McCutchen. No chance here. 2-out hit, make it a 1-run game.
I'm on a home run. 7th inning. Do it with 1 swing. Yeah.
Phillips will get the final out. Pirates try to take advantage of the errors. And they'll stretch, trailing 5-3. This is how we got here in an eventful 2nd inning. Pedro Florimon with a 2-out triple that scored a pair. The Pirates had a lead, but the Reds answered. Tucker Barnhart with a 2-run double of his own to tie it. And then in the 3rd, Reds getting busy against Ivan Nova. And 3 runs scoring that inning. Phillips with the double. Scott Schebler added 1, as well as a sac fly by Barnhart, who's driven in 3 today. And then in that 6th, Sean Rodriguez, who has homered now 5 times. Here on this 8-game road trip, he has hit 17 home runs this season. Hold the Pirates to within 2, and that's where we stand as we stretch on this Sunday afternoon in Cincinnati. And on our UPMC scoreboard, 5-3 Reds.
A little early for the flag to be coming out. We still got some runs to score. So we'll get the Rays out up in the air.
Tyler Glasnow did a good job. 3 scoreless innings of relief to hold him. And now Drew Hutchison.
He'll hopefully be picking up a W today. Add to that 1-0 record. They can hold them and we can score. Just a 2-run ball game, and the ball, as we know, will fly out of here really quick. It's still anybody's game at this point.
John Jaso remains in the ball game to play first. Pitcher will bat on the 2 spot as Bell is out. Now the Pirates going for their 5th consecutive win. They're also aiming for their first 4-game series sweep in Cincinnati since 1991. Well, they're going to need at least 3 more to do that. Hutchison coming over in that trade that sent Francisco Liriano and a couple of prospects to Toronto. And will, depending on how the offseason shakes out, he might be one of the guys that will get a look at the starting rotation in the spring.
That should be very interesting when spring training gets here. I would think that next year will be a few more question marks than we've had in the past couple of years.
Yeah, it might be depending on who gets acquired, who gets moved around, of course. But
yeah, for instance, this year it was kind of like, okay, there's 6 guys for 5 spots.
You're right. There was a kind of 2-headed race. Well, not even really. I mean, Vogelsong started as the number 5 starter, and then Nicasio just pitched so well he kind of moved into that 5 spot. Schebler streaking with a leadoff double here. But there wasn't a lot of thought.
Right, and I think this next
spots.
year, the way it looks right now, as you said, who knows what the roster is going to look like, but it could be some legitimate, competition for maybe at least 2 of those spots next season.
Now Hutchison in a hole early. I got to keep this one close. 5-3. Feel good with a couple innings left.
Group of candidates right there getting ready to hydrate.
Hydrating in unison.
Passing out of the water. It's like they're on a hike through the desert, and it's okay, it's time to drink now. There's your canteens.
Yeah, it looks like Garrett Cole is going to be just fine. He'll do all of his normal offseason conditioning. Ryan Vogelsong will be a free agent at year's end at age 39. And Neil Huntington saying on his radio show today, Vogelsong may not start anymore this year. It's at least under consideration that someone else will fill his role here toward the end of the year. And they'll move the runner over on the sacrifice by DeJesus. Now Clint Hurdle has not set the rotation for the Milwaukee series yet coming up. Off day tomorrow. And then a 3-game set starting Tuesday. And Vogelsong in his last 4 starts has been ineffective after being so very good in his first 5 coming off the DL. And plus, at this point, clearly, the Pirates are looking more toward what is going to help us understand what we've got for 2017. Trying to win today, but also with an eye toward that. Barnhart has driven in 3 today. A double, a sac fly, and a walk. Infield in. And Hutchison ahead of him, 2 strikes.
Yeah, that's the ideal. You're looking for a strikeout here if you're Hutchinson. Pirates are down by 2. You can't afford to give up a run. That's why the infield's in on the grass. And best way to prevent that right now is don't let the ball get put in play, especially now that you're out 0-2. You got to take 3 shots at a strikeout here at least.
Gets away from Cervelli, but Schebler seemed mad at himself that he didn't have that first jump toward home plate. Thought maybe
when that ball, when a ball bounces away from the runner, as this one does, it's tough to judge right away how far it gets.
Because he needs to already be running before he knows really how far it's going to bound away, right?
If the ball goes kind of, say, straight off to the right, you can see distance. You can say, okay, that ball's, you know, going to be 20 feet away. I got a shot to score. It doesn't matter now.
That's going to be plenty deep enough. And almost over the head of McCutcheon. Barnhart with his second sac fly today. He's driven in 4 runs. Reds lead by 3. And they convert that leadoff double. The Pirates did not do that in the 4th inning.
Played a little small ball there. They got the leadoff double, but then they went sacrifice bunt, sac fly. Good idea when you're trying to get an insurance run.
So the pitcher Lorenzen bats with the bases clear. So if you get Barnhart, they're going to lift Lorenzen. Wears number 21 on his back in honor of Roberto Clemente.
Can hear Cervelli they're sounding the warning. Like he said, oh no no.
Yeah, pitchers probably don't. They certainly don't have as many at bats. They probably don't see that as often as a regular position player. There's a shirt with Clemente's number 21. There's the final out, but not before Cincinnati adds a run. 6-3 Reds as we move to the 8th.
Should say time overall working for the weekend in this series versus the Reds. Time away from the ballpark since arriving Thursday night from Philadelphia, 28.5 hours. And as you look at the time at the ballpark, we're at 32 hours, 38 minutes, and 12 seconds and counting. We wondered yesterday, Joe and Bob, if it was going to be more time at the ballpark or more time at the hotel. We figured it would come out around close when we got here. But look at that now, a 4-hour difference and counting. Probably going to be 5 more hours spent here at Great American Ballpark than at the hotel. So nice you get, you know, a couple visitors like Rosie the Red, right?
Thanks, Robbie. Yeah, you know, both teams have tried to make sure that they've conserved rest for the players. They've had them come in late in the mornings, as close to game time as they possibly can. A lot of the pregame work not done like normal because they're doing a lot of in-game work. And back for the 8th, Gregory Polanco. Polanco looking for his first hit since Friday. Michael Lorenzen was able to stay in for a second inning of relief after that sac fly by Barnhart scored the run, and he was able to come in and bat. Otherwise, they're going to lift him for a pinch hitter.
All the different kind of strategies that you have to use playing baseball
in the senior circuit.
Well, you could add that out.
Right, so
it's the only place anymore baseball is played that I know of.
Occasionally in the minors. 2 National League
teams.
On
a certain night.
Certain nights you can get a little bit of that. Double A or above.
You're right.
Double A and Triple A levels. Now 3-2 on Polanco. 97 from Lorenzen. Irish Heritage Day here in Cincinnati. That's why they're wearing the green tops and caps. Do not adjust your set. That sounds like an old phrase these days, a television set. When's the last time
because it was like a set of tubes that were in there?
No, it was like a piece of furniture. Right?
Oh, yeah. It was definitely in a big wooden cabinet.
Yeah.
I remember going down to the drugstore to test the tubes. See why it wouldn't work. Put them all into a shoebox with like tissue paper so they won't clank together. Go down to the tube tester, you plug them in, and there's a little needle that would say good or bad.
And then
find a bad one, you get a new one, take it home, put it back together, and your TV would work again for a couple weeks.
Nowadays, they're as thin as a book, if you know what a book is. And they didn't have TVs when the Reds were founded.
No, they didn't, did they?
4 years after the Civil War. They went something like, I want to say they went 72-0 or something like that year, but they were playing a bunch of semi-pro teams because they were the only professional team. They were the first and only at that time. The Cincinnati Red Stockings kind of morphed into the Red Legs, then just the Reds. And now the Greens today.
They're confused today.
Well, you got to get your greens. Mom always told us that. 2 up and 2 down against Lorenzen. They'll probably be wearing these tomorrow if they can beat the Pirates today. Pirates coming in on a 4-game winning streak and had an early lead. They were up 2-0, but the Reds tied it in the second, and then a 3-run third, and the Reds have been ahead ever since.
It wasn't Nova's day, giving up those 5 early runs.
Those 5 runs the most as a Pirate. 3 innings, and Tyler Glasnow went 3 innings in relief, 3 scoreless.
Lorenzen throwing the ball pretty hard today, pretty consistent up there at 97 with that heater of his.
Well, we were talking earlier about Glasnow, and just for conversation's sake, about starting pitchers. The Pirates throwing him out of the bullpen for this month. Well, sometimes, like in this case with Lorenzen, the Reds brought him up as a starting pitcher last year. He's only 24 years old. He's a year older than Glasnow. Decided to put him into the bullpen, and his results have improved quite a bit. Now, Glasnow, that's way too early to tell. Of course, the Pirates are looking at him as a starting pitcher, as they should, but just for conversation's sake again, sometimes at some point you can look at a guy and change his role and maybe change his outcome as well. Shades of Dusty Baker there in the stands.
I think the first place you always have to look with these young guys is, can they be a good or a very good starting pitcher?
Yeah, that's always first.
That's so hard to find. I mean, it's just, you certainly can't get one free agency. They're so expensive.
Pirates Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Kenny Ross, Total Confidence Pricing, and by Levin Furniture, the official furniture and mattress supplier to the Pittsburgh Pirates. For the best quality, service, and value, shop Levin's. Let's go Bucks!
Here in Cincinnati, 6-3 the Reds. Trying to get one out of this series. Enough to make you dance. Tired her out. Got to get it out of your system. Peraza lines out to start their half of the 8th. For 5 today now. Nova, Glasnow, then Hutchison. Eugenio Suarez 1 for 4. quickly. Up to the warning track, but McCutcheon is there. 2 quick outs for Hutchison. We invite you to head to PNC Park for the last Free Shirt Friday of the season. Bucks host the Nationals this Friday at 7:05. If you're one of the first 20,000 fans through the gates, you receive a free Pirates t-shirt presented by Levin Furniture. Get your tickets now at pirates.com/Free Shirt Friday. Strike to Votto. Jared Hughes, our model, hanging out in the Bucco bullpen. Votto deep, and this one ain't coming back. Well, it did, but it's a home run.
He's not sure.
It left the ballpark, and it's been signaled a home run. It's a home run.
He's got to listen for the fireworks, doesn't he?
Once you hear pow, Reds putting this one out of reach, 7-3 now. They've tacked on runs in the 7th and 8th innings. The Pirates at this point of the ball game are going to challenge it, but it went over and came back.
Yeah.
The only one that wasn't sure of it was Votto.
And hit that, what is that, like a camera pit or something on the other side of the wall?
Yeah, just went over there and then bounced back out of it.
Yeah.
Votto thinking, okay, it's going to be out of here. No, wait, it's off the top of the wall. Wait, no, what is it? And all the while, Carlos Torres was signaling home run. That's a signal for home run.
A twirly thing.
Yeah, circular motion in and around and above the head.
It's circle the bases.
Yeah. I beg your pardon. This is a crew chief review, and they just wanted to make sure that the home run was indeed the case. Votto's 25th. He's already rounded the bases. So you can see the ball disappear.
Yeah, it went back and hit something in that pit and then came back out.
That open pit right there just comes right back. So Votto on base all 5 times today, paying back the Pirates after keeping them hitless in the doubleheader yesterday. So the Reds a single run in the 7th and the 8th off Hutchison. Pirates need 4 to tie in the 9th. games left on this road trip as the Pirates will travel to Milwaukee for a series at Miller Park. And join us as the Pirates take on the Brewers Tuesday, starting at 7:30 with Pirates pregame presented by WB Mason right here on Root Sports. 7-3 Cincinnati. Looks like the Reds poised to get one game out of the series. The Pirates are hoping for a 4-game series sweep. Something that they haven't done here in a quarter century, but it's up to Raisel Iglesias from keeping that from happening.
Iglesias, another one of those young guys, kind of like Lorenzo, that they are counting on to do good work at the back end of the bullpen for the future. Bridge guys.
Sean Rodriguez homered his last time up.
One of those guys might end up being the end of the bridge.
The troll? No, it's under the bridge.
End of the bridge, the stopper.
The troll pitcher would be then the guy that comes in after the closer if they don't convert the save.
Yeah, he's the troll.
We're talking about terminology for late inning relief.
If you have an unreliable stopper, then it's the bridge to nowhere.
Yeah. That's a phrase I've heard before. And one out. I want to wish a happy birthday to Chuck Jackson. He's doing our technical directing today. And a milestone birthday for Chuck. And he and all of our great staff working here throughout the weekend. We got a really great crew here in Cincinnati. And just want to thank all of them and wish a happy birthday to Chuck.
A long
Spending
day.
it here with us.
Long day yesterday.
Pedro Florimon drove in 2 of the 3 runs today. He's got himself a second hit. Getting a start today and has picked up a pair of safeties. Got the ball in and still was able to hit it to left.
CNI ground ball. It's one of those lucky ones that make up for the line drive outs.
Jaso struck out as a pinch hitter, now in the game at first base. Michael Lorenzen went 2 scoreless innings. Did not allow a hit. Likely only going to be 2 relievers on this bridge for the Reds today.
Short bridge.
Twin span. It's stopped by Barnhart. He's had a fine day today. 4 RBIs for the young catcher. Florimon aboard.
Nobody holding him on. Now 7-3 score.
So with those sunglasses on. Some hitters like that, some don't. Bright hazy sunshine today, but whenever it's bright out, he'll wear them. Marte will wear them. First I remember, and I can't tell you, he might have been the 100th guy to wear, but Reggie Jackson I remember would wear sunglasses when he was with the Yankees, maybe even with the Orioles one year. Always wondered, maybe I'll ask, you know, some guys don't like it, some guys maybe see better with it. Always see the fielders wear the sunglasses.
Jay Bell a lot would have worn clear glasses to try and keep his contacts from drying out. I asked him about that one day, and that's what he told me. So why do you wear clear glasses? It's night game. He said, well, it's windy out here. I want my contacts not to dry out.
So the prescription would still be on the contact lenses.
Yeah, but they were just clear, plain, like safety glasses almost. But that's what he was comfortable with.
Hernani Iribarren, who just came in this inning for Phillips, he's got sunglasses on. The fielders a lot of times will do that. The hitters not as often. Eugenio Suarez, the third baseman. Casey's got a pop up. Well, now the Pirates trying to make this one interesting. And it gets by Schebler out there. That's going to allow Florimon to come in to score. RBI double for John Jaso. We've seen a guy on stilts here today juggling. We have seen a large-headed mascot, and we are hearing the calliope every now and then too. We've seen 4 errors today between the clubs and a few plays like that.
At this point, the main thing is base runners. You got to have hits. No matter what, got to have hits.
What's that? Keep the line moving, right?
Yep. Doesn't matter what kind of hits until you get the last guy up there. Then it matters.
Well, the tying run is on deck at this point, meaning that it's starting to get interesting here with 1 out. Frazier today has walked, reached on an error, advanced on another error. Jason with that RBI double. Brian Price seems content right now to stick with Iglesias, who has as good a stuff as anybody's got in that bullpen. And that's going to be the second out. Well hit, but right at Duvall. And the pitcher spot after an earlier double switch coming up. Pirates need some 2-out hits here to keep it going.
Walk, anything. Got to get one more base runner.
That was Tony Cingrani, their closer, just starting to maybe get up and throw. David Freese going to pinch hit for Hutchison. Freese with 4 pinch hits, 1 run batted in. Called a strike.
A good little slider right there. Excellent pitch.
Pirates down to their last strike. A run across here in the 9th. Andrew McCutchen would be next if Freese can get aboard. He wants a chance to swing the bat. And if Freese does get on, McCutchen would be the tying run. 97 from Iglesias. And the Reds survived to get one in the series as they win here this afternoon 7-4.
Now this game was I think really a lot different than what we had seen right from the very beginning, and that was the difference. Once they were able to get those 5 runs off Nova, then that made it a different sort of animal, and they just had to play catch up all afternoon. And Straley did a pretty good job, and those 2 young right-handers that came in at the end of the game, they are tough when they're throwing strikes.
And the Pirates had a few chances. They went 1 for 11 with runners in scoring position today, but it was that early offense helping the Reds to the 7-4 victory. And now let's go to the post-game show and out to Dan and Teague.